So the belief is that thanks to a report by Kotaku, Watch Dogs 3 is going to London. Now when this game is actually going to come out is unknown, however what we know at the moment is essentially just the rumour. However, it's reaching announcement time for Ubisoft titles for the year, and since there won't be a major Assassin's Creed game this year, or at least that's what they've said, then they'll want something big to fill its shoes, and I don't think a Tom Clancy game, even though they could be great or whatever, is going to do that. At least not as far as sales go. So when will Ubisoft finally announce Watch Dogs 3? Now I'm not saying they're going to announce it this year, they could announce it in a couple of years or whatever, but it's about that time that people are starting to anticipate Watch Dogs might wind up rolling up at E3 or whatever. Ubisoft do like to announce their games prior to E3 as well, like they did with Watch Dogs 2, and like they're doing with whatever the next Ghost Recon game is going to be, if it's a game and not just a DLC. So that's going to be announced on the 9th of May at 11:30 AM PDT, and so up until E3 I reckon everyone's going to be buzzing for that. There hasn't been any mention of Watch Dogs or anything, and usually by this point Ubisoft would start teasing what games they might announce at E3, and I just don't think that the next Ghost Recon game is going to be enough to fill the gap that Assassin's Creed tends to leave. And we know that Ubisoft do like to announce a ton of games at E3 every year. They're a big company and they do make a lot of games. So I'd expect a few more announcements as the month progresses, and probably more than likely at E3 if not. And of course, in a year with the absence of Assassin's Creed, what better time to announce a Watch Dogs game? So there's a good chance that we might see some of that, and considering that insiders are starting to get information about it, such as Jason Schreier saying that it's going to London and things like that, I'd imagine the game is reaching the business end of development. That being said, is Watch Dogs really big enough a title to fill the gap that Assassin's Creed leaves? Which, in my opinion, it can be. It depends on how well the game is made. Though I am under the impression that Watch Dogs 2 didn't sell particularly well, if I'm not mistaken, and so maybe Ubisoft won't think that, and it could be a few years before we see Watch Dogs 3. So there's no real information that says that it could be coming soon. However, I'd imagine they'll want to leave for something else in the wake of Assassin's Creed to announce at E3, as they usually do announce a plethora of games. That won't be any different this year, I would imagine, and so some big games will probably be up there. Ghost Recon being one of them, Watch Dogs 3 possibly being the other. And since they're announcing Ghost Recon in a couple days from now, I'd imagine that they're going to want to save the rest of their announcements for E3. Usually with their bigger announcements, what they will do is they'll tease it prior to E3, so you know what's coming, but they're yet to actually confirm what it is. Usually something that's blatantly obvious about something, or maybe even saying coming at E3 and then the logo of that franchise, so everyone knows exactly what it is and why to tune in. So if Watch Dogs 3 will show up at E3 this year, which I reckon it will do, then we'll probably see something this month or in early June stating that Watch Dogs 3 will be featured at their E3 press event. But who knows, I might be wrong and Watch Dogs 3 won't even be announced until E3 2 years later. And since we know nothing really official besides from the fact that Ubisoft renewed the Watch Dogs trademark not too long ago, and even then that was only really to ensure that they had the rights to the name Watch Dogs even outside of the media in which they were intending to sell it, which means transmedia such as movies, TV shows, comics, etc., which we might see at some point. So it would appear as if Ubisoft are confident that they can make a successful franchise out of Watch Dogs. Makes me think that there's no better time to announce a game with the renewed Watch Dogs formula than in a year in which Assassin's Creed just isn't getting a new title. So who knows, maybe we will actually see something this year. But I think the overall point here is it might not be this year, it might not be next year. Rumours suggest it might be this year. I don't really know if there have been any about that. Maybe I'm wrong on that one. All we know is that the game's probably going to be set in London, courtesy of Jason Schreier. And since he revealed the information, I'd say that he knows it's probably coming soon, because I'd imagine he's probably been sitting on that information for quite some time. Beyond this, we know it's probably going to be in London thanks to the updated ending of Watch Dogs 2, which left coordinates which led to a borough of London. But the point is, at this point, people are talking about Watch Dogs 3 and its potential future setting, and they're expecting to see something at some point soon, I'd imagine. So maybe we will see something, maybe we won't. What do you think? Do you think it's going to be announced this year? Do you think they're going to leave it for a few years? Do you think we'll see something before or at E3? Let me know down in the comment section. But considering they're announcing something to do with Ghost Recon now, I'd imagine that means they're going to want to save the rest of it for E3 so they have some bangers to drop on us, or at least that's what they think. Personally, I wouldn't mind waiting a few years, provided that the game we get at the end of it is actually good, because Ubisoft have rushed things in the past, so I have no doubts that they will keep doing that for a while. Hopefully not, but you never know. Either way, even if it is announced, it doesn't mean it's necessarily rushed. Who knows what's going to happen? Let me know what you think down in the comments. Thank you all for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to go ahead, leave a like, subscribe, share the channel with your friends and all that wonderful stuff, and I'll see you all very soon with another video at some point.